Alright guys, welcome back to another stream. We've been away for a little while. We've had a couple of weeks off where work and whatever else has been pretty hectic, so had a bit of time off, but we're now back. We're going to get back to our regular content as much as we can, with videos, shorts and lives. So if you are watching the VOD, welcome to the VOD. If you're watching the stream, welcome to the stream. And yeah, basically we're going to run through what we're going to go be back testing this evening. It's currently 8:30 p.m. here in the UK, and yeah, so basically what we're going to do is run through a supply and demand strategy. It's one that I've been working on now for 2 years, slowly refining it with different rules, and I think it's pretty much nearly there to a point where there's no more point in me trying to make it any better or any more complicated. It's very simple, it's very effective, and yeah, so we're going to run back through some charts on GBP/USD. We're going to be trading the 5-minute chart, and we're going to be only looking for buys and sells in the London session for today. So London session only, looking for the setups. We'll go through each day. Ideally just want one setup. If we see two, we may take 2 trades, but we're going to try and aim for just one setup in the day, try and find that perfect setup and move on. I find that this setup does appear most mornings in the London session on GU. So without further ado, let's get onto the chart. We'll rewind back in time, and I'll show you that we're going to rewind randomly, and we will get to it. So give me 2 seconds, and then I'm just going to make sure I've got everything that I want in the right place. Yes, we don't need that on. Actually, we will. We'll keep that. It'll be nice and easy. Actually, let's just change this over to here. Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's do it. So let's change our screen over. Got some charts, and there we go. So let me just get this back up. So as you can see in the top right hand corner here, we have got our rules. Okay, and those rules are as follows. We're going to find a supply or demand zone with a FVG or fair value gap within the zone. All right, you'll see that when I get to it. Look for a break of structure from the supply or the demand zone. Wait for price to pull back into the zone. Fill the FVG and the supply or demand zone. Wait for an entry on a break of a candle, of the recent candle low or high, I should say. Let me just change that. Low or high. Wait for price to fill FVG and zone, and then we're going to look for that price going down. So we got 4 rules basically. Find supply demand zone with FVG within. Look for a break of structure from that area, so a big area of displacement, which is broken structure. Wait for price to fill the FVG and the zone, and then once we get an entry of a break of a candle low, we'll enter, and we will manage the trade going down, taking our first profit at a 1-to-1, and then let the rest run. So let me just get everything sorted, and then we're off. So what we're going to do is, I've got on here, I'm going to just turn this one off. I don't need to know New York open for this one. So this is my favorite strategy, and it's one that I stopped trading for a little bit to work on, and I was looking at some other stuff, and to be honest, this is the one that works for me, and it's the one that I need to focus on the most. So what we're going to do, these horizontal straight up lines represent the midnight changeover for the UK time. Okay, so basically I'm going to go up here so I can't see price action, and I'm just going to zoom back in time, just randomly. That's as far as I can go, so that would probably be, let's go, I don't know, from this day here, which is a Friday. So let's start from a Monday to make it a fresh start. So Monday here, Monday the 24th of October. So we get the rule out here, and basically what I'm looking for is setups from 7:30 until midday. Anything in between there, ideally between 9 and 12 is the best time, because then London has opened, volatility has calmed down. But I am up early most days, so if I can find setups and see if it works at 7:30 in the morning, get my trade in and be done for the day, then that would be great. So we're going to start from 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:20. Okay, 7:20. Give that a double click, and we got some old back tests here actually, so we're going to start from a day previous to that. Alright, so the only indicator that I have on the chart, and you can see these boxes here, is an FVG. Sam Nephew has made this, and basically it just shows me where fair value gaps are without me having to draw it in. So they'll come up, they'll be shown if they get filled in. This one hasn't actually, but usually they'll disappear. And it just saves me a bit of work because it's actually very accurate and it works well. So it's not anything that sort of I run by as in it's going to give me the reason for price change. It's just to show me that a fair value gap is there, and then I may draw it in manually after that. So let's get going. We are currently at 7:15. Okay, and so we're just going to skip through price until we see a setup, and then we'll work on that. Okay, so currently not much going on. Hopefully we can find a good setup so I can show you what we're looking for. So nothing yet. Okay, so we've kind of got one appearing now. Potential. All right, so we have our supply zone here. Okay, supplied the market, breaking structure to the left. We've also got an FVG just below. Okay, fair value gaps just below here. Ideally, I'd like the fair value gap to be within the block, and I'll find an example of that later. For example, like this. So say this is a supply zone here. You can see that within the block we have this fair value gap. That's kind of the ideal setup. All right, so we're just going to play through, see if we can come back up into the zone. Okay, we've just filled the gap there. We've come in. We are in the supply zone. We haven't got an entry yet because we haven't broken this candle low, so we're going to wait to see what the next candle does. The next candle breaks the low, so I'm going to take this trade, and actually what we're going to do is we're going to go just above the candle here. We're going to go, it's a 20 pip move, and we're going to go down, and actually it looks like we're going to be targeting this fair value gap down here, which also could potentially become a trade because we've got this demand zone. Okay, with a fair value gap inside, because you can see high buying pressure from the zone. So let's crack on down, and that was a win. Okay, so we got a 1-to-1 there. Probably wouldn't target any more on this because of this zone, and as you can see, we may get an entry here. We haven't broken our target yet, so once we get if price does break this candle high, we could look for an entry. There is an entry there, although I don't like the look of it. Okay, all right. So technically, we've got all of our markers here. We've got a demand zone, breaking structure, huge buying pressure. Okay. We came out of this supply zone into the demand zone. We had a reaction, filled the gap, and we got a break for candle high. Now, what we might find sometimes with this is the fact that because obviously we're doing replay, you can see here that we broke the high and then obviously the candle closed up high. So what I'm going to do is take that as if I was watching it, I would enter just on the low here. And we're going to go just below the stop here. Stop just below there. We go for our 1-to-1 to start. And then see if we're going to run. So I would have taken a full profit on that one. Because I would notice this down here as I did. Okay, so we're going to see how this plays out. Pushing up. Pushing down, pushing down. Oh, it's looking not looking nice. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna push back up? Okay, so we got a loss there. Alright, so we did actually come down. We've actually got a bit of a liquidity grab going on there for sure. So I feel like we might push up now. Yeah. So not the best there. We had a liquidity grab below this low. You know, eventually we did get up there, but our stop was a little bit tight, so we did lose. So we're about break even for the day so far on this day, which is a shame. But that's the way it goes. So we now move on. I may from time to time delete these boxes because they do go across the whole page and they might get a little bit annoying. So let's see. So this here is an area exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, we've got a supply zone, creating a nice push down. We've got an FVG right in the middle there. All right, so we might not come back to there today. It's looking like we're not going to, so we're going to keep on go. Oh. Nothing I can see that would be tradable. Okay, so we've come up into that zone now. So we've come up into this supply zone, which has broken all the structure. All right, broken this low, which we did liquidity grab and push up. So now this is a great entry. If we can break this candle low, we can go for it. Now there is another way of trading this, and it's being as a aggressive entry. An aggressive entry would be as soon as we fill the FVG, okay, we enter. But we're not trading that today. We're trading candle low breaks. So we got our candle low break. It's beautiful. We probably have our stop loss just above the high here, and going for 1-to-1, we've almost got it. So obviously remember, we're watching this live. We'd wait for that break of the candle low before this happened, but because it's replay, it's filling the gaps already, and I feel that we could potentially easily push right down. Okay, good. So what we would have done there, because we've got clear space below and liquidity below here to take, we would have gone 80% profit, 80% profit taken, and then stop to break even. All right, so we've taken 80% profit of a 23 pip move, which is nice. I'm just gonna make this a bit smaller. So now imagine our stop loss is break even, so we're gonna see if we can get down for a 1-to-2. Easily done. All right, so then we probably close everything out from there. So let's say 100% close, because that's another 20 pips. With 20%, that's still a nice profit. So 20%. No, full close. There. All right. So for this day, we had a winning trade, a break-even trade, and then we've got one which worked out really nicely. 47 pips in total. So there we go. That's like the perfect setup. So we're looking for, so this is the perfect setup. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for price to create a supply zone, pushing down. Within the supply zone, we've got this fair value gap, as you can see here. All right. And what we want is price to come back up into the zone, react, and come down. Once price came up into the zone, we look for that break of the candle low, which was here. Okay, had a nice rejection candle here, and then we're just heading down, taking profit at 1-to-1, break even, and then pushing on down. So a great day. This is actually in the New York session, which is a shame. Had a break even day in the English in the English session, in the London session. New York was profitable. Ideally, probably would have just left this trade and taken this one and not traded again. But for the sake of backtesting, we went for 2 there. So a good day there. Right, so actually I'm going to make a note of these. Where can I make a note of these? Let's do it on here. Let's add a text. Okay. Okay, for whatever reason, that is absolutely massive. We don't need that. Okay, is that... I don't even know where that's gone. Oh, it's up here. Right, wins and losses we're going to have just down here. Why have I got 2 LS's on the end? I don't know. I'm tripping out here. Yeah, it's 2 S's. For whatever reason, it didn't look right, but it does look right now. Okay, all right. So Monday's done. Okay, we had technically a profitable day if we were trading the New York session as well. So we're going to move on, and I'm just going to take a screenshot of this because it's always good to have a screenshot of your trades. Save there, and that'll go in the backtest file. So then I can come back and look at what worked, what didn't work, and why. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. Just let it play forward. And then when we get to the new day, I'll delete everything that we've got there so we don't get confused. Oh, okay. Let's go back. Went a little bit too far. All right, so new day, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, 7:30. So we've got a supply zone here, you could say, quite big. Probably would go there instead, but let's draw it out. Okay, nice big push down. Now we do have this zone, supply zone here. The FEG was just before, we did fill it, so let's see if we get a reaction from this area. We did. Stop above here. Go for our 1 to 1. We got that. Do we get a 1 to 2? We don't. So this is where it's a good example of why I like to go for an early stop. So an early take profit of 1, all right, because then we can bring our stop loss to break even. We took 8 pips, 80%, that went to break even, and then we could look for another entry after that. Obviously, if we didn't, we would have lost out and then had to make that back. But we did get a move, a stop into this FEG, this supply zone, which actually was a huge zone here. All right, so if we say we did enter there, we would have already pretty much got our 1 to 1. Let's see if we get that. Oh, so okay, so not a great start there. All right, so that's why that 1 to 1 going to break even is always ideal, because sometimes we don't push all the way down. What have we got going on here? So you can see there's a little line here. We haven't quite filled that yet, so let's keep going. Okay, so I'm just going to delete these because they're getting confusing. So we currently got 1 win, 1 loss there. Obviously, we'd actually be down right now if we did take that because this is a smaller profit than this was a win. So we're going 3 to 2. All right, so got another setup here. We got a demand zone. All right, what we got inside? We got a FEG. Okay, and this demand zone has broken broken to the left, which is nice. We have got this area here, which could be a supply zone from the. No, it's not in the Asia session. So let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Okay. Nothing. Nice. Big push up. Didn't come into our zone again. So we keep hunting. Okay. Got a big push down now. Alright, so we got a zone here. It's a pretty damn big one. Don't always like it when they're this big, but we have got an FBG which was here, okay, which you've just filled. Alright, so we got our break of a candle low, and we actually got the 50% area, which is nice. Alright, so we got a win there. Sketchy win. We were very close to getting stopped out, but we did come into the 50% zone. If I draw on a fib here, this is another thing I like to look for, especially if it's a big zone, is instead of it just tapping in like here, alright, actually come into the 50% zone. We got our entry just because we got a break of a candle low here. Stop was just above the high, because there's no point in having our stop here in this one because it's so big. And yeah, that worked out nicely. We do actually have another setup coming right here. Potential setup. Alright, so we've got a zone here. Top of the FEG is just in there. So let's see if we can get a reaction. We did. Technically that's an entry. Let's go stop above here. We got a win. Just about. Okay, so that was a real tipper there. I think we'll probably get stopped out after that. Yeah. So that was a real close shave, that one. But it is a win for our 1-to-1. So let's keep on moving. This again was after the time, so technically this was the running trade for us today, and we could have technically let that run for a 1-to-2, yeah, just about. So London session was good. From 8:30 till we entered this just after midday, so it's ideally not what we wanted, but let's keep on moving. Okay, so we actually got 2 right after that, so let's go to our, let's see what we're doing, and we got 5 wins, 2 losses still. Okay, Tuesday done. Let's move on to Wednesday. Oh, I need to take a screenshot actually. Okay, we got some news today. New home sales. Done it again. We've gone a bit too far, so let's just bring it back before we make any notice. Have we gone too far? Only just. Let's just go from there. That's fine. Right. So, nothing yet that catches the eye. Big moves today. Wow. Yeah. Technically, we've got a demand with FPG just being filled. Let's see what we get. Let's draw in our fib actually on this one. Our 50 mark fib. If we can hit the 50 mark fib. Okay, we blasted through. So no entry. That's great. That's fine. Okay, we're after 12 o'clock now. So there's no entries on GU today. Though there was some great moves, there's nothing to really go for. This could have been an entry here. We had this buying pressure break up. We did have resistance. You know, you can see these resistance candles. So this could have been a buy, but didn't follow the rules, didn't have our FVG in there. So we move on. Okay. News coming in on fairly positive news, but no trades for us throughout the day, so nothing to add there. We move on. Coming up to 7 o'clock. Boom. 7:20. This is a Thursday. Okay, so you can see here we had a nice entry here if we were awake, which we didn't in the early hours. Got a supply zone, breaking structure here, here, here. Okay, large selling pressure, FVG in, we tapped into the FVG, got a candle break there, and then just shot down. So that was a really nice trade there. We have actually got one here as well, but we have broken through because London Open has ruined that. That would have been a nice setup there, but wouldn't have traded before the London Open at 7:30. So let's see how it reacts. We did get it. We got a bit of a push up. So unfortunately that wouldn't have been, didn't set up for me. So we move on. Big move though. Consolidation. Consolidation. Okay. Okay, looking to our left, we had a bit of we had a fair value gap there, which just got filled. But let's keep going. So past the 12 o'clock mark, nothing really happened. We had this area here, which would have been nice. Perhaps we could have seen this one and reacted to it, but nah, it wasn't clean enough really. So let's see if New York brings any life to the party. So we got a demand zone here, no FVG though, and we just shot through 2 o'clock volatility, 2:30 volatility, going crazy. We have got a demand here with FVG within, so we could look to come back in here. We haven't gone in there yet. Oh, so we didn't get our entry there. We came back into the close there. We didn't fill the FVG. Didn't even tap into the actual demand zone. I wouldn't have counted this candle as the top of it, to be honest. I would like this area to be tapped into, so that's all right. Okay, should have looked to the left there. We didn't. Look at that. Supply. Do we have an FVG in there somewhere? Yeah, we had one just there, which is just on the top. We would have got our break of a candle low a little early, and would have probably had our stop above the high. So let's see if we get our 1-to-1 or not. We did. So that would have been a nice one later on in the day. I'm not going to count that because I saw that in hindsight rather than live watching it. But what we have done is we have come down into our zone here, the one that we were looking at before. So let's tidy this up a bit because this has all gone a bit of a mess now. We got our fair value gap filled. We got our original supply zone filled. We have got some wicks rejecting the area. So let's see if we can get an entry. We had our push up, so we would have entered on the break of this candle high here. Let's have our stop below the zone, 20 pips. This is a late on in the day. This is 5 o'clock. And that's why we don't trade late on in the day, because we got stopped out. So we did get into profit a little bit. You know, could have said that if we had our stop loss below this low, we probably would have just tapped into our 1-to-1. But hey, that's fine. So that was a loss for us there. Let's go onto the sheet. Three losses. Okay. Got a nice looking zone up here though. But I doubt we'll come into that today because it's the end of the day. We won't be trading at that time. So again, at the beginning of this stream I did say I just want to look for London zone, but seeing as we're flying through, we may as well look at New York as well. So far we've had better luck in London than New York. Have I gone too far? I'm going crazy, am I? I'm going absolutely crazy. I went way too far, way too quick, right. Okay, we're on Friday now, so we've gone for a whole week. Okay, demand zone, FVG. Got our break. 10 pip stop. Oh, he did it. Oh my goodness. That would have been a roller coaster, that one. Now, obviously, with spreads, that could have been quite tight. I think we could have been alright there, but I think in hindsight, if we would pull this down here, let's see if we would have continued up and probably hit our safer TP. Yeah, we would have. Okay. So this is the whole point of backtesting, right? It's to see what works best. Does the low of the candle that you're looking at the break of, is that the best place to put your stop loss, or below the zone? Sometimes below the zone's a little bit too big, so below the candle high or low is the best. In this case, we would want 15 pips and 15 pips there, so let's say we would have taken 80% profit. Stop loss at break even now. Let's see if we got a runner. We got a great runner here. Yeah, could have potentially gone up for another 50 pips. So let's go for our 1-to-2, which is probably where we would have taken our profit completely. That's a great trade. And that was before 12 o'clock. So taking the trade before 12 o'clock, letting it run through is nice. And actually, you know, probably would have exited just before New York opened there if we went for our 1-to-2, which is good. So properties, it's 5. 6 wins, 3 losses. Okay, so that's the end of the London session for Friday. Let's see if Friday can bring anything in the New York. Got this beautiful zone down here that has a nice FEG in there to be filled. Are you going to come back in there? We did. Okay, we tapped in there. I was a little bit quick on the mark there, so we would have got our break here. For this one, you see, this is the point. this is a big stop. This is a 35 pip stop loss. Right, I'm not comfortable with risking 35 pips considering we've just got 30 pips there. If we lose, we've lost out, especially as we've taken 80% whatnot here. So let's go for a 1-to-1 up there. Let's go for it. Boom. Alright, so that was a nice two trades in the day. So that's another win. And that was probably the last trade for Friday. So we've got 7 wins, 3 losses on this week. That's beautiful. Oh shit, I didn't take a screenshot on the other one. But that's really nice looking. Let's tidy this up so we can go over these, because these are really nice. So this is like prime day, okay? Small demand zone, breaking our structure to the left here. We got our demand, our SVG that needed to be filled, just a small one, but what a small one is all you need. Price came in, filled that out. We got our break of a candle high, stop loss we should put below the zone as we know, and we got a nice 31 pips in total. We would have taken some profit here with a stop loss move to break even. It would have run brisk free up. Really nice trade. Then later on in the day, that was London session. Later on in the day, we just got an alert actually on okay, interesting. Actually on trading view there, but anyway, let's ignore that. Then we had this beautiful one. This is like perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Same with this one, really. It's exactly the same setup. Look, slightly smaller here. FVG to fill. Price went up, broke stop. Price to the left, came back down. Same thing happened here. Okay, nice big demand zone. Whoom. Lots of buying pressure. FVG to fill. We came down, tapped into that zone. We got a break of a candle high just here. So it looks like, you know, things are changing direction. We put our stop loss in below there, and vroom. And actually, could we got a 1-to-2? Not quite, but let's play it out and see if we would have. No. And it got later on in the day. Anyway, we would have got a 1-to-1. Where was it? There. So stop loss would be break even now. You know, we could have taken some profit up here. It's 40 pips. It's a nice 40 pips, right? Even with 20%, 40 pips. You know, it's a good amount of pippage. So let's draw across here. We would have pretty well got stopped out for break even there. Probably wouldn't have held the trade this long, as this is now late into the day, but we could have got our 1-to-2 quite easily if we didn't get stopped out for break even there, but we would have let it run. We would have let it run. So yeah, a brilliant week that. Okay, 7 trades. That was a 70% win rate on that week. So 10 trades, 7 right, 3 wrong. That is a nice week. That is a profitable week. So we're going to go for one more week, and then we're going to end the stream. And hopefully I can get some content out of this for the Instagram afterwards. So let's move on. Let's delete this. Let's actually take a picture of where it would have gone, just so I can come back to this later. Right. So let's move on. Over the weekend, see how Friday ended up. There we go. There's the start of the new Sunday, and boom, we're into Monday. Let's add another text. No, yes, we will duplicate this. Alright, new week to start. Let's bring this test down here. So week 1, 7 wins, 3 losses. Week 2, we are yet to find out. Alright, so we're at 7:30 here. Okay, all you can see is set up that could potentially work for us. Because we have, although you can't see it now, fair value gap that's just got filled. Okay, and we've got a supply zone, supply in the market, breaking structure to the left. So are we going to get our break? Got to push up through. Alright, so no trade there, no entry, so we didn't get stopped out. Nothing to see, nothing to see here. Let's move on. Okay, now I did notice this earlier. You got this here, and there's a fair value gap between here and there. But in my eyes, it got filled with these wicks. But we can see a reaction there. That would have been brilliant. But we didn't take it, so that's fine. Okay. New setup. Supply zone. Fair value gap in the middle. Big displacement, breaking structure to the left. So if price can come back up into that zone, that would be really nice. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We've got a supply zone here, but it's a bit messy and no fair value gap. So, and also sometimes you've got to look to the left, see what's going on. I think this won't hold. Have got an entry, yeah, but I'm glad I didn't take it. Bit late, could have taken it. We filled a gap here, but hey, better to be safe than sorry. We didn't take it, excuse me. Okay, got demand zone appeared, breaking structure here. Okay, we could get an entry here. So we are after 12 o'clock now. So London session was no entries. Ooh. Now this could still be valid because, although I won't take it because that's why, because it's dangerous. If it's broken through, it's likely this isn't going to hold. Support becomes resistance, but this looks like a liquidity grab to me. Yeah. Okay. Nothing really going on. Have got a zone here, although we don't have our fair value gap inside. We do have a fair value gap to fill, which goes into the zone, so that could potentially be something we look at. But today is a very bearish day. Okay, we're beyond the day now. Let's see how this one would have played out. Because we got our supply zone here, fair value gap, big volume zone. Okay, that would have been nice. That was nice. So, although that was late in the day, it's not too late. It's not into the evening. Okay, so that I'm going to count that. I'm going to count that because, you know, we've got our zone here which we marked out before, fair value gap just below, which actually entered the area a little bit. Not the most ideal setup, but still a nice gap. Came in, price action showed nice with these wicks. Got our break below, stop loss above the high here. Usually when there's a wick like this, I like to put the stop loss above the high because, you know, it's wicked so much, there's clear pressure to the downside. So having our stop here just doesn't seem like there's much point. You know, if it does go above this wick, it's had a wick fill, it might continue up. So that's a good win. That's a win for Monday. So let's go into here. 1 win, 0 losses so far. Okay. Let's move on, continue on to the next day now. We're on to the next day. It's Tuesday. This is 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7:30. Okay. Oh, let's just take a picture of that. And again, we could have let a runner here. We could have left our runner going. We got our 1-to-1. Let our runner go for a 1-to-2. Quite easily smashed it. So let's take a picture of that. We'll move on. Delete that. Keep it clean. Not quite at our starting time yet. Okay, this is our starting time now. So demand zone here. Large selling buyers. Large buyers moving up. Fair value gap just before. Not the ideal setup, as we like the fair value gap to be within the zone, but let's see what happens. See if we can get a reaction from here. Looking a bit yeah, no, don't like the look of that, so we're not going to take that. Delete the zone. Demand to supply. Okay, so supply zone here. Okay, fair value gap just got filled within the supply zone, so looking for price now to give our entry, which is a break of a candle low. Push just above. There is an entry here. We have gone above the mark zone, which isn't always ideal. So probably wouldn't have taken entry here, but it would have been a winning trade because we would have entered on this break of candle low, stop loss above here, 1-to-1, then go for a 1-to-2 after that, after some partials. Yeah, that would have been a great trade. I suppose really the zone was there, but I was keeping it tight down here, so that's fine. That's fine. Better to be safe than sorry, but we won't count that because we didn't take it. So moving on, get rid of this zone now. Okay, we're past 12 o'clock now, so this is past the London time that we'd be trading. Okay, but we're still in the London session. I have completely missed that by talking. So I'm going to go back and show you why this is a good trade, or why I should have been focusing a little bit more. So if we come in, okay, demand was created. Okay, demand zone was created here with fair value gap in the middle. Alright, so then what we do, we wait for our entry, which is a break of the recent candle high. We haven't got that yet. We just got that there off the FVG, and we actually tapped into the even more sort of like tight demand zone down the bottom here. So that would have been an entry. Probably go stop below the low. Let's see if we would have got our profit. Yeah, smashed it. Okay, so then what we would have done then, as we have been, taking our 80% off the table, stop loss to break even, so we've got a risk-free trade to run if need be. We would have run. Did we get a 2-to-2? We would have got a 1-to-2 just there, and that would have been us. So that would have been a nice trade. I should have been a little bit more. I was talking, but that's a perfect setup. What we're looking for. If you look at our rules, we've got find supply zone or demand zone with FEG within. So we've got the FEG within the demand zone. This demand zone did break a little bit of structure here, but it's high buyers, so you know, doesn't always have to break structure massively. We can see that buying pressure is here. Wait for price to fill the FEG into the zone, which it did. Then we wait for a break of candle high just here, and then we pushed up for our 1-to-1, and then taking our profit off. Stop loss to break even. Risk-free trade up to 1-to-2. So that was a brilliant trade. So we're going to just change our week 2 results to 2 wins, 0 losses. We're now on a Tuesday. Okay, and I can hear the music stopped. So let's put some music back on. Whatever this is.
Like type lyrics.
There we go. Right, hopefully that's alright. Okay. So, great trade. Okay, that's another one for Tuesday. That is in crossover of London to New York almost. We're still in the London session entry. New York was about to open actually, well, on this candle here. So this is the New York open now. So we'll just take a screenshot of this. Beautiful trade, 26 pips in total nearly. So we'll move on. Let's just tidy this up a little bit and see what New York has to offer for us. We do have news today. We've got job openings and manufacturing PMI. Turned out to be positive in both cases. So let's see. Nothing really okay. The positive news created Gbpusd to go down. Alright. Bit of a supply zone here. Quite a large one. We've got FPG in there. Let's see. It's not the nicest. Aha. There we go. So 5 o'clock's a little bit late for us to be trading. But we got a wick up in. We filled this FEG, filled this supply zone, and then pushed down. You know, this isn't really an ideal entry. You know, we could do this one for a bit of fun. I wouldn't take this one normally because our stop would have to be up here, which is 50 pips. But it could have could play out. Let's just play it. Nah, because it went too early into the day, so that wouldn't have been a trade. You know, potentially could, if you had standing order, a limit order at 50%, that would have been a great trade, but that's not what we're doing today, so we're going to move on. So 2 trades this week, one on Monday, one on Tuesday to win. We'll move it on. So let's just get rid of this. If you just joined us, welcome to the stream. We're going to be streaming as much as we can. We do have quite a hectic schedule, but we're going to be back testing on live and trading, and we should be trading the New York session tomorrow afternoon. So we shall see. Okay, so 7:30 London time, this candle here. Have we got a trade? Sort of, because we've got our supply zone with a here with an FEG in the middle. Haven't really got a nice touch in there, although it would have been a fantastic trade if we took it, but we didn't. It also would have been quite a tricky one to manage because price probably would have done a stop loss. Where did we get our entry? We got our entry here, so stop could have gone here, but likely would have put it above the FEG, going for a 1-to-1, which would have been a nice trade there. But it's always a bit tricky when you got such a big stop, because potentially it could go, you know, retest up there. We did also get this nice trade up here actually, which in hindsight probably should have looked at that before we looked at the other one, because we've got our supply zone which was formed at 4:30 in the morning. Alright, and then we've got this very miniature FEG here, very miniature, which we did come up to fill, and then we could have had our stop here with a beautiful rundown, but we saw that in hindsight, so we're not going to count that. Okay, let's look to the left. Still got some room to come down. Got a zone here. Okay, so we've got our supply zone, supply in the market, breaking structure to the left. So if price comes up to fill this FEG into the zone, we'll look for a sell. Very close. Probably not. Oh, there we go. Right, we're in. So now we're going to look for our sell. We haven't had an entry yet because we haven't had a break of a candle low, so we're not in the market. We're retesting this area up here now. So this zone is still in play technically because we haven't filled the gap completely. Filled it all. I don't really like the look of this, so I'm not going to take it. Should have taken it. Look at that, beautiful. So we've got a break of a candle low here, stop loss above here, 10 pips, 10 pip stop, would have been perfect. Just seemed a little bit too messy for me, although we had our perfect setup. This supply zone was a little messy. It wasn't as sort of as extreme as I would have liked, but we do have our SVG here, which we filled. We broke above, but hey, that's all right. You know, we knew that it potentially might work. It did work. It didn't really feel exact. I didn't feel comfortable with this bit, so that's why we didn't take it. So we're still 0 trades today, but we're still in the London session. We've got news coming up at 12:20, strangely enough, or 12:15 for employment change, which was very positive, big change. Let's keep on moving. Okay. What have we got? We've got a demand zone coming up here. Let's make this all a bit cleaner. All right. So, demand zone. We took some liquidity, so we had a liquidity grab even of this low here. So this is a nice looking trade because we had our demand zone. Nice big push up. We didn't break any structure, although we did break this structure here actually, so we have broken structure, which is nice. We had our FEG, which was just here between this candle and this one. We've got a big open space there, which we filled. We've just got our entry, so we're going to go. Stop below the wick, 13 pips. Aiming for 1-to-1. Good start. Oh. Now, this is one reason why you need to look for time zones, because this is New York Open, and as you can see, we're going to get stopped out right now. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to win. All right, so should have paid a little bit more attention to the time there, because it was 1:30, so New York Stock Exchange opened on this candle. A little bit of volatility, but we did have our stop below this zone. We were about, I don't even know, 1 pip away, not even, from being stopped out. But we didn't get stopped out, and we did hit our TP, so that would have been a bit of a, I don't know, wouldn't have been the best trade, I don't think, but it would have been a winner nonetheless. So we're going to count that as a win. So we are now 3 for 0 this week, which is lovely. Currently with this trade got 13 pips, so we would have taken, still running, so we would have taken our first TP. Stop loss is now at break even, so let's see how that plays out. Okay, so we got stopped out for break even. We would have got our first 80% on the 13 pips, and the rest would have been stopped out, which is fine. So let's move on. What time is it? It's 2:30. We're going to get some volatility now from 2:30. We do have a supply zone formed here, so let's see if price can come up into that area. past 5 o'clock now. Got some news quite late on as well, so wouldn't be trading right now. Cheese! That's some big news. So 7 o'clock news. Blasted through all those zones that we've been trading today. Yeah, so nothing to see there. We're going to move on to the next day. Let me just take a picture of this because this is a good one to take a picture of to show time, etc. Let's move this along so we can get the right entry there. Alright. So, still a great day. Week, 100% trades this week. I think about 60 pips in total so far on GU. So we're going to let this play out. Let's get rid of some of these drawings. What day are we on now? We're on Thursday. So this will be the last week for us today before we turn the stream off. But a good back testing session. Coming up to our open 7:30. Alright. Okay, so we've got a nice looking area down here. Got a huge demand zone with an FEG in there. Okay, this was made in the Asia session. Although the Asia session says it finishes there, which is not correct. The timing's out on that for some reason. So, yeah. Let's see where we go. Okay, we're in. We just filled the FBG. We've had a push up. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky because that would have been an entry there. So I feel that we should go for it because that was an entry off of a nice demand zone. Stop's going to go below these lows here. But I feel like we're going to get a liquidity grab because we've got a double bottom here. So let's see. Yep. Oh, no, a big push down. Okay. So that was a loss there. That was a loss. But we do have a supply zone with FEG created here. So we're going to just change our ticket here. This is so fiddly sometimes. I need to get better at this OBS thing. Right. One loss. It's a shame. I thought we were going for a 100% week then. Okay, so we get rid of this. This didn't hold up. Which is a shame. It looked like it was going to be nice. Just take a picture of that loss. Okay. Let's move on. So we've got the supply zone here. Supplied the market with an FEG in there, so this would be nice if price can return. Wow, we're really pushing down today. FEG, supply zone here. Wow. Now this is the start of, you know, things going pretty sour for the pound actually. This is where we're really going to come down to sort of like the 103. So this is going to be an interesting time for us to keep trading through. What we've got here, we've got inflation decision, yeah, balance of trade, and non-manufacturing PMI to come up too today. It's not a good day to trade really, for my strategy at least, because it is an absolute crazy day ahead, I believe. Nothing yet. I mean, yeah, I guess this would be a trade. Let's see. Okay, got an entry, but we got flung away. I don't know if I'm confident with taking this one. I don't like the look of it, but fuck it, we'll take it anyway. For backtesting purposes, let's see. So we got our entry here. Okay, we had an FVG which we just filled. We had an entry which we pushed up. Oh, actually, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So stop just above the high here, above this wick. Yeah, got our entry, 18 pips. So stop would be at break even now. Profit would already be taken off the table. Risk-free trade. Let's see if this continues. We'd have got stopped out for break even just before news at 1 o'clock. So not bad, not bad. So that's 4 wins, 1 loss this week. Supply zone here. FVG within. Oh, is that a... Oof. Okay, got our entry. I'm going to put stop just above this candle high here, 25 pip. It's not really ideal, it's quite big, but everything's very bearish at the moment. And we won. So you can see the accuracy of this strategy, right? It's kind of, I've worked on this for a while. Started with price, just starting with supply zones. So literally would mark out like this and then look for price for the reaction. But the introduction of the FVG within has really like increased the win rate. Because if we're going to fill that FVG and there's not really any above, and it's a nice supply zone with breaker structure, like everything's lining up to whatever. Find love on the best dating site. I found my love, man, so I don't need to do that, but thank you for the recommendation. 69xxx.fun is a great site name. But yeah, if you're interested in FX, give us a follow, man, because we out here. So this trade, another win. So we're going to look for our we got a 1-to-1. Stop us at break even now. Let's see if we're going to get our 1-to-2. So we'll pull this down. What am I doing? Pull this down for a 1-to-2. Let's see if we can tap that out. Bang, 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 bang. Yes, we did. So that's another great trade. What's that? That's a 51 pip trade there on GU. Today we would have made 70 pips. That's not bad at all. I would take that every single day. So yeah, this strategy really is coming into its own now. I've played around with so many strategies. I've been trading for 7 years, and it's one that I keep coming back to. And recently I've stepped away from it because I wanted to see other strategies, you know, lots of stuff going on, and I just got kind of clouded. And actually I'm glad I did step away, because stepping away allowed me to learn a little bit more about fair value gaps and the importance of them, which then has helped me to then re-enter this strategy and basically, yeah, just work on this one and add it to the arsenal. So another great day. So did we add this one? Yes, we did. I think we did. Yeah, so we're going to add 5 trades, 1 loss. Amazing. Okay, we are still on Thursday. We have 1 day left. This is the end. We won't trade anymore today. This is the last time of the day. We're on to the evening now. As you can see, volume just completely disappears. We're just going sideways, especially after all that news. So we're moving on to Friday, the last day. So this will be the last day of the week, and also the last day that we're going to backtest for this session. Entry here, potential, bit of a mess on open. We did get a clean break. Still got downward pressure. Would have been a great trade. Okay, so we had our FEG just above the zone. We did tap into the zone. This wasn't really an entry. I mean, it's all a bit crazy. Was skeptical, but that would have been a good trade there. But we do have our next potential entry here. We got our supply zone, supply and market, break instruction to the left, FEG within the zone. broken above, but we haven't closed above. Okay, I'm going to take this entry, low risk, stop just above here, going for a 1-to-1. Looks small, but still 14 pip gain if we win. Ah, that's a shame. So we lost that one, bit of a risk, but we only took a small loss, so that's it's a shame. Really wanted to keep this win rate at 1. This lose rate at 1, sorry, but we can take a loss there, so it's 2. We move on. See, that one is interesting. You know, we pushed up quite high, momentum was big, so yeah, not the best best look there. But there we go. Let's delete this from yesterday, just because it's confusing me a bit. Okay, potential demand zone here. Although it's a small one, we've got FEG within the demand zone. The demand zone came up here, we broke all the structure to the left. We've come back down to retest. We filled the FEG. We haven't broken below, we just filled this FEG as well. And nothing to see here. So we're going to delete that. Didn't get an entry, which is good. We're going to delete this one as well, because actually just to take a picture of this loss quick. Alright. Let's get rid of this because it's annoying. Okay. Potential supply zone now. Here with FEG. Breaking structure here. Okay, we got our fill. Ooh-wee. Got our push down. So for this 14 pips, I'm only going to go stop above the high here. Stop loss wise, I usually just try and see what I feel about it. You know, there's no real. Here I feel there's such a strong move down that if price does continue back up, it's going to break through, so there's no point in having it much higher. And that was a nice trade there, so we got a win. And we got stopped out pretty well immediately for break even, so that's it. So 14 pips there, break even on the day, but that's still going to add that to the win. So that's the end of our London time. What have we got here? Unemployment rate. Okay, so we've got non-farm payroll now. So this is really not really a time for us to trade, but let's see if we can find anything, because shit's about to get real, as you're about to see. Now actually, this area did create quite a nice demand, but because we've got non-farm payroll coming out, it's not going to support it. See, we've got our entry there. This is, you see this little FEG here, little line here. Got our demand here. We've got our entry, but there's nothing to take because it's just about to get real. Yeah, see, it was a bit of a loss. Here it comes. Right. So we'll run through till 5 o'clock, see if we find anything. Nothing to see here. We do, however, nothing really to see here. And we're out. Alright, so again, what have we got there? Got a really crappy percentage when it's not just made up to 10. So we took 8 trades this week. In week 2 we got 2 wrong, 6 right. 75%. What am I talking about? Of course it is. It's got to be, isn't it? Yeah. So 75% win rate. So we had 80% on the first week, 75 on the second week. Taking on an average of 1 to 2 trades a day on GU. It almost feels like there's not much point in looking at any other strategy or Forex pair. I mean, it's evident, you know, great win rate, good returns as we got some 1 to 2s. We got our profit taken out on the 1 to 1s, break even. So the introduction of the FEG into the zones has been really important, and it's something that I am now going to continue and, you know, come back into this strategy with full force, because it's the one I've been, as I say, I've been working on this one now for, I don't know, 3 years, and yeah, we can see that from these results, just these 2 weeks, random 2 weeks, especially in some of the strangest times of GBP/USD coming down to a low level for a while, it's worked lovely. So a really nice session. We've been streaming now for an hour and 23 minutes. So I'm going to end the stream there. We're going to post the results on Instagram. So if you haven't already, go and follow our Instagram, IronFX Invest on Instagram. It's down there in the bottom left corner. And we will be coming back for a stream tomorrow. I'm going to now try and make some content for YouTube Shorts, and yeah, hopefully keep growing this channel. So thanks everyone. I know we've only had 69xxx.fun in the chat, but anyone else that has just popped by or hasn't said anything or is watching the VOD, appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you in the next stream. Peace.